Okay, so we're doing readings today. This is my old iPad that I use to play tunes 24/7 for the sound box over here. And right now we have Pyramid Power app on, and we have 15 hertz playing. And this has no iPad protector on it, so we're just going to see what we see here. On the previous test, when our newer iPad, yeah, I have two iPads, I know it's bad. We're working on getting wired Ethernet, so bear with us. But for the time being, we're just going to do these tests on these wireless electronics. So no iPad protector on this one. Again, the newer iPad we have has a protector on, and when we went near it, it would go to the negative a little bit. But here we see a pretty much steady, I would say 28, 29, 30. So now we're going to bring in a Jumbo Dream Machine and see how the readings are affected when we have the iPad right next to the device, the Orgon device. Okay, so we still have the 15 hertz Fibonacci sound playing and on our old iPad here, and now we brought over the Jumbo Dream Machine, and let's see how the readings change here. So let's see them start fluctuating right away. And so the point of these tests is, again, not to put too much weight on them, but just to show you that if you just have wireless electronics without any protection, you're really kind of placing yourself in harm's way. And I get it that it's kind of an unknown technology, and it's even being there's kind of an agenda to disinform when it comes to this technology. I mean, I had 5 of my listings, my top listings on Etsy, when I used to only sell on Etsy. I had 5 of my listings taken down, and they said that was in accordance with the Nuclear Radiation Commission, something like that. And I replied back to them. I said, well, what pieces are radioactive? What of my elements is radioactive? I'd like to know. Please tell me. And they said they couldn't give me a straight answer. So I stopped using Etsy as much. I still have an Etsy shop, and I just list some of my basic devices, no pulse devices, anything like that. But yeah, Etsy is definitely controlled. Etsy is if you sell on Etsy, that's great. I hope you're having a great experience. But in my experience, they're somewhat of a controlled platform, so I'm a lot happier with Shopify. And it's not just that. It's not just Etsy. I mean, there's a disinformation campaign going on, and the people who are doing it know who they are, and we're not going to call any names. We don't believe in any of that. I mean, everyone's trying to make money and survive. We get it, but there are agendas for everything. There's agendas for everything. When it comes to a lot of the stuff I post on, like I post on veganism, there's definitely an agenda to make veganism look like there's some agenda, or tie it in with Agenda 21. There's the New World Order diet. It's like every movement that starts out legit gets slandered, gets infiltrated, and it's kind of a shame. But so we're just doing these readings because if you were just to have an iPad or just your phone or whatever, and nothing else, or just a salt lamp, you wouldn't really be doing yourself many favors. I don't, in my opinion, and based on the evidence, every reading I've done on that Himalayan salt lamp is just not really impressive. And I only started doing these readings again because, like I said, a buddy of mine on Instagram said, I like when you did those readings before. So I said, oh, sure, why not? But it just takes time to do these. And I'd rather be prepping my next batch and packing these and being more efficient and working out and researching and posting. But I understand that these are helpful for people. So I will continue to do them. So yeah, it's pretty interesting, the amount of energy that's being generated. So I recommend getting a device, the more the merrier, and this is what I always tell people. If you have one big radiation protecting plant, meaning there's plants like the snake plant and cactus and spearmint. There's a lot of really protective plants that absorb radiation, right? So this is how I equate those kind of plants to these devices. If you have one big snake plant in your living room, you're going to be protected, right, from radiation. You're going to be really in a good position if you have a really big snake plant. But if you have a bunch of smaller snake plants distributed throughout your house and your property and your yard, plus that big one, well, then you're going to be fortified. So that's kind of the same thing with these devices. One's good, a big pyramid's good for the home, but a pyramid and tower busters distributed throughout your house in every corner of your yard, and then plus an amulet when you go out. Well, that was a big reading right there, 1600. You're gonna be protected, fortified, all those good words. So that's what I recommend if you can afford it. I know these are kind of expensive, and we're all on budgets and everything. They are a lot of work, though. They really are a lot of work, and I use a lot of pricey ingredients, and the post-work time, the pre-work of the crystals going in there. I mean, it's a lot of labor, and to be honest with you, I should not be even doing these tests right now. I should be packing, but I just like to provide a little bit of visual observational evidence, I guess you could say, that these drum up some good energy. And so, you're going to get freebies when you buy with me, and especially if you're a repeat buyer. And that's my way of saying, hey, thank you for trusting in a relatively unknown product. I mean, I've been making these for going on 6 years now, but they're still kind of unknown. I think if you were to do a kind of a, I don't know, a consensus, or go like interview your neighbors, like, hey, have you heard of Orgonized? Like, they'll probably say, no, not really. What's that? Is that like a paint or something, or is that a mineral that comes from the earth? And it's like, no, it's actually, it uses stuff that comes from the earth. But yeah, so I try to reward my repeat buyers, and I try to provide all this stuff, but I really should be packing, and I really should be prepping my next batch. And it's kind of weird. Like, I have all these other interests that I want to post about, and I just don't really have time anymore. Which is okay, I guess. You're supposed to focus on your job and taking care of your family. But I have a lot of other interests that, they're close to my heart, and that is, that getting out of this conditioning that we need to eat animals to survive. And it receives a lot of backlash. People get really triggered. And so, sometimes I say, should should I post this right now or just keep working? And so lately I've just been like, I have to keep working. I don't want to deal with a bunch of triggered people. But then I watch, footage of animals suffering, and they have these eyes that just are speaking to me, and they're saying, help me. And then I look at how I'm living, and many other people I know are living and thriving without paying to enslave them and murder them, and so that's why we're kind of activists that way. So anyways, I'm rambling like I seem to always do when I'm doing these tests. So I hope this helps. I'm going to sign off. I have to get packing, and hope everyone's doing well. And again, you are much better off having one of these devices around if you're going to use electronics, and these readings basically show that when you put the ion reader near an iPad, it's going to be a little bit in the positive, okay, and if you put an Orgon device in the vicinity, it's going to give you some negative ionization that'll help in a way neutralize, but really convert. And the reason why you're seeing the positive ions on the device as well when we put it near the device is because it's, in my opinion, it's because of the process of pulling in energy and converting it. So it's pulling in energy, converting, and distributing, and so that's why we're going to see some readings fluctuating all over the place. Okay, so now we've taken the iPad away, and it still reads maybe a little bit lower, pretty steady. And then, we can even go like back and forth, see what happens. Let's go back here. So this Jumbo Dream machine is a nice device. I like the dome shape, and we're going to be making them with where you can't see your crystals as much in the middle here, but I think it's a little bit more effective just to have it more of the accumulator field. So the crystals will still be in there, you just won't be able to see them, and I think that'll be better. So I think I'm excited to do readings on the next one I'm making, which is a blue one, to fulfill that order. I'm excited to see what the readings will look like on that one. I don't know if it'll be significant, but I think the more of the accumulator field you have, the better it'll be. But at the same time, you can make them pretty effective just having the accumulator field on the bottom. And as long as you have, you can have two accumulator fields like this one, or you can have, just one big one that goes halfway up. But you got to have those atomized metals, you got to have the atomized minerals, you got to have the ormus, at least for me, and you got to have the salts and the sand.